Welcome back, everyone. There is quite a lot of importance in the market right now. Understanding where the trend is very, very important. So we're going to be going over a critical thing in this market right now. We are going to go over the breakout situation or the breakdown situation of that trend. And we're going to go over what we can predict it will go to. You can never predict 100% with certainty where the market is heading in crypto, but the best thing you can do is have some sort of prediction based off of technical analysis or events that could kind of show an idea of what could happen and see where the market could be trending from there. So before we get into it, make sure you guys have your stop losses in place, right? It's a necessity as the volatility of crypto is high. Very, very high volatility stop losses are very important. It gives you more liquidity in your portfolio, more opportunities to make gains. But this is a kind of a must-do for to be successful short-term in crypto and even long-term. Getting these buy levels at these lower prices, if you have a stop loss on, will help you out significantly. So if you are only focusing on long-term investments in crypto, it's still important to get some sense of what is happening on the short-term time frame. Might be a week, might be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. Still important, okay? So let's get into the graphs. I'm going to be going over this critical point. It really is critical. But what do we see right now? Okay, well, we see what this trend is looking like short-term. I know this might be a little bit confusing for you guys. If you're looking at it, you're like, what are all these lines? I will get into it. This is actually showing us quite a lot of information. But I'm going to be going over some altcoins as well after this, maybe some news too. But we see this trend resistance. Okay, what is trend resistance? Well, it's a line that is seeming to cause some resistance. Let's go over here and see. Let me get to the marker. Bitcoin cannot break out of this. We have this downwards pattern where Bitcoin has been trying to break out of it and it can't, right? It's just keeps on hitting this top of this trend. It's actually happened 7 times in the past, I believe, 2 weeks. It's a little bit over 2 weeks. This has been in effect since of mid-May to late May. This has been into effect, this trend line. And this is the trend support. It's supporting Bitcoin's price. It does not break down through this. As you guys can see, this line right here, we aren't able to break down through it. We can't break down through it. This has happened around 5 times where we couldn't have broken down from this. And why is this important, expert? Why? Well, if you guys trade in between this range, this is going to cause a lot of gains for people that are trading within these trend lines as the price is bouncing accordingly off the tops and heading back towards the bottom. There was 4 times for you to make a lot of gains off of this. But we're going to be getting into, right? Look at it's closing off, guys. We're closing off on this little trend resistance, or this trend line, I guess you could say. What do you mean we're closing off? Well, if we continue this downwards, right, we're eventually going to get to this little triangle, this little wedge right here. And what happens then? All right, well, we'll see if we get to then. But as of right now, we have some key levels. This is very important, okay? So we have been in an uptrend. As you guys can see, this is an uptrend. We're going upwards. This is a downtrend right here. I'll like kind of circle that right there. That's a downtrend. And this downtrend turned into an uptrend. But we still have yet to have a breakout out of this trend. It's been an uptrend, but we haven't had that breakout to start a new trend yet. So if we do break out of this around this 38 to 37K level, we're going to have, an uptrend. This trend's going to switch to something that would look like this possibly, right? We could have something like this happen where we're going to be trading, selling here, buying down here, right? Selling here, buying here, selling here, right? It could change into that, right? Or we could break down to the downside, which would be around this 35. We break down to this 34 to this 33. I would say 34,500 to 33,500, where we start some sort of trend that looks like this downward trend, right? And I do see both of these possibilities being, fairly close to happening, but I see a downtrend as more likely, just based off of my knowledge in crypto. We've had the Miami events. And last time we had that Miami event, it signaled the top of crypto. That's just something that I'm just saying. But you know, a lot of people in Miami, they won't talk about trends. They won't talk about how we need to break all-time highs to continue a nice thing. But if you guys look at this at a long-term perspective, this is just a little consolidation that we've been seeing on the long term, right? But you have to make sure that we need to be prepared for both ways, right? If we break out, we'll be prepared. If we break down, we'll be prepared. Well, I see these as these key levels of support below the 34,500 to the 33,500. We have this 32K, we have this 31K, we have this 30K. If we break out into this what is it here? Into this 38K zone to this 39K zone, we have 41K, 43, and 45, where we need to break out of these zones, or else we're just going to have this little bouncing effect. We have a lot of resistance. Hard to break out of this red zone here, which is the resistance zone. Normally you bounce off of it, bounce off of it, bounce off of it, as we have in the past. Normally we can't break below these green zones, which are the supports. We can't break through them. So we kind of have some idea of what the market is probably going to do. I'm not saying it's 100% accurate, but this is somewhat what we're seeing in the market. We're in a critical moment, though, where this trend is coming towards an end, where we have the ability to break down through it and go down to these green zones, or, you know, tables can turn and we can break out towards the upside. But it is the weekend. So during the weekend, we have low volatility, normally a little bit bearish. I remember last weekend, Bloody Sunday, I was screaming Bloody Mary, and you know what? Didn't happen. So we could have something like that happen again, where we think it's bearish, but it's bullish a little bit. But I see it being bearish, but could be bullish. I'm just trying to prepare you guys for both situations. So what do, right? Well, we have a 34,500 to a 33,500 range for Bitcoin. That's going to be kind of the new support levels, right? Around that 34,500, right? 34.5. We'll just do 34.5 to this 33.5. This is just short term if we break out of this now. And then on the upside, we're going to have a range of around 30. Oops. 30, wait. Yeah, 39 to around this 40-ish area would be our new level that we would break out towards, right? So if we can't break out of it, we'll just come back into this little range, and until we, you know, we keep going up or we keep going down. But yeah, that's what the market's looking right now. But we're getting into this critical moment where we're going to be closing in, right? So we're going to be getting closer and closer if we stay here, and we got to go somewhere. We can't just go flat. We know that crypto is extremely volatile. These trends continue, right? So we have a pretty good idea that we're not going to stay completely flat, guys. Come on, get a grip, right? We can't stay flat. Something's going to happen, and yes, this is flatness right here, guys. This is just a trend flatness, right? You buy here, right? You sell here. You buy here. You sell here. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys learned something from that. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new. Going to be streaming. I've been busy. I've been very busy recently, working on quite a lot of things, and looking forward to sharing those with you guys here in the future. But inside these trend lines right here, what do we see? We see this red one, right? Red is resistance. We can't break out of this, right? We can't break out. We try to break out. We try to break out. We try to break out. We just kept on dropping. And once we broke out of it, we had a big upside, right? Same thing goes for these trend lines right here, right? This is a trend resistance, this red line. We can't break out. We can't break out. We can't break out. And then once we do, we go boom, right over it. And then same thing with these green lines, right? We stay above them. We stay above them. We touch them once, twice, 3 times. Whatever it might be, and that's why I'm drawing these mini trends inside this larger trend, right? Because you guys can get some sort of idea what that is as well. Not trying to confuse you, but it's just you're taking the resistance levels and you're seeing what is it hitting, what can it not break out of inside this mini trend? Because we're still in this large trend, right? We're still in this large trend here. But we want to find out what's happening in the middle, right? What's happening right now? We know we can't break out. We know we can't break down. What's happening in the middle? We got to figure out short term how to make gains off of that, and this will give you more ability to, you know, buy at these certain key levels, instead of just buying right here, right? You're buying right here or you're buying right here. No, right? You guys want to be trading out of a trend. You want to have some sort of ability, maybe buy on news when it comes out, maybe buy on some other information. You're just not buying with a gut feeling, guys. It's not the way to go. But yeah, very critical right here. But I'm going to get into some altcoins that I see that have a lot of upside potential. This is if we break down, and I'm just going to put the buying ones if we break down, right? We're going to be prepared if we do break down to get some gains off these altcoins. Well, for you guys, you have to understand that we have a few things we need to get into, right? Well, we have to understand that these altcoins, they all correlate to Bitcoin. And I'm trying to find the altcoins that correlate to Bitcoin the most. What do I mean? I'm looking for, if Bitcoin goes up 2%, which altcoin's going to go up 8%, right? Which would be the most. All these altcoins are going up. Let's say Bitcoin goes up 2%. Most altcoins are going up 3, 4, 5%. But then there's a few altcoins that go up 6, 7, 8%, right? I want to focus on those ones because that's going to give me the most gains, the most bang for my trade, right? And I picked 3 altcoins that do that, and we're going to get into them, right? So first one's going to be Rune. And I see Rune dropping down to these levels, right? Maybe we break out of this trend for a little bit and we start a new one. I see that as possible. As you guys can see down here, Rune has had a lot of volatility recently, and a lot of price volatility, right? So we could see a drop down to here. Maybe we enter this box right here and then we bounce out, or maybe we go down to here and we bounce out, right? We see some sort of resistance line right there too. So we could come back up to that sell zone, which is around, let me scroll up so you guys can see that. Around 1325 would be a sell zone. Set your stop losses accordingly. There's a book in the description called Emperor BTC. He explains stop losses accordingly. I'm not going to be able to calculate your stop loss for your risk, right? You have to figure out what's your risk, what's your reward, and what are you willing to set your stop loss as to calculate that out. Due diligence on your stop losses, right? But this is what we could see happen, right? So we see some sort of pattern like that. So maybe we bust out to the upside, or maybe we don't. Maybe we go down and, our stop losses get hit, and then we lose out on that trade. But the upside on this trade is looking very, very good, right? We could have 50% here. We could have another 42% here. And we could have another around 25 to 30% there from these 3 levels that you guys see right here. Entry levels 1037, 932, 841. And this is not, financial advice, just showing you guys what I'm doing. This is the trend resistance. This is the trend supports. And we have a trend support. This is actually a trend resistance right here. Let me turn that to red. We couldn't break out of it. We broke down through this trend through this trend support right here, and we made this new trend with this green line right here. I know you guys can't see that too well. Let me try and make that a little bit better. All right, so yeah, we formed this new trend from this green line to this red line. These 2 smaller lines are kind of the new trend that we're forming, right? I'm just going to delete this real quick. Delete that. And delete that. That was the old trend, right? We broke through this trend on Rune. So I think we're in some sort of trend that looks like this. Maybe we'll drop down like this, and this will come like right here, Maybe this could happen, right? Where we stay in a trend like that. But my guess is we're probably going to have a little breakdown, hit these levels. Very good possibility of that happening. All right, so next one, going to be Telcoin, right? Going to be Telcoin. We're going to get into Telcoin. You guys know we love Telcoin on this channel. You guys remember this day? I do, guys. I remember this day. Crazy times we had with Telcoin, guys. Look at that. One day, 250%. If you guys have your stop losses and you're ready, you can make significant amounts in one day off these dips. So you want to be safe. You want to be liquid. You want to be smooth, right, with your portfolio, especially with this volatility that we see. If you guys don't have the time to, just set your stop loss if you're holding long term at some level. I would really, really advise you guys to read into those books that I have in the description. Emperor BTC talks about stop losses. Go do some research on them. Very important. But what do we see with Telcoin? Well, Telcoin has this kind of trend resistance up here. We've hit it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And we kind of formed this new one down here, right? Let me actually move that down a little bit. We formed this new trend resistance where we can't break out of. We've broken down off of it a few times. So I see Telcoin as an extremely volatile coin. Extremely volatile coin. We know that's volatile, 280% in one day. Wow. But we see 1, 2, 3 levels that would be very, very good for buying on Telcoin. And the upside is looking pretty good, right? 26%. Then we have the same kind of gains that we would get from the other coins, 35 to 50. And I just did the same thing. I'm looking for what coins run up the most when Bitcoin runs up the most, right? I'd rather trade off that statistic than just trade off of, this coin looks good. I'm going to do technical analysis on all the coins that have the most potential to run up. I'm not going to focus on the coins that I like because we're not emotional on this channel, right? You guys came here to make money. You guys came here to learn. And that's what you're going to get, and nothing else, nothing more, right? We're not going to be getting emotionally attached to coins when we're trading because you want to know what? coins don't care about your emotions, right? They care about volatility, and they care about how much they go up. I mean, that's what you should care about. But that's what I see happening with Telcoin, right? That's a very, very good possibility of us taking that dip with it. Extremely volatile with Bitcoin. The correlation between Bitcoin and Telcoin has been very, very high recently, as you guys can see from the 288% that we got in on last dip. My last coin I'm going to be going over is OGN, or Origin Protocol. We formed a new trend with them. You guys see this volatility from down here. This was an insane run-up that this had in around 2 days from a dip, right? You will see these types of run-ups from a dip again. I can promise you guys that. If we have a dip to here, we'll probably have another 160% run-up with these altcoins. So you want to stay liquid, you want to stay loose, and it really will help you guys out in the long run. I can definitely agree with that. And if you guys have not been with me since we've had dips like over the past month or so, it's just the smarter thing to do if you guys can put in the time, or even if you can't put in the time, holding long term. We have these large dips to the downside, right? You might as well set a stop loss and get these key buying levels in these coins, as it's very, very probable that these coins will dip till then with the volatility we see in crypto. If you guys want to hold long term, that's great. I can give you some advice as well on that. But my advice for anyone that wants to put in the time, just think about it, right? Just think about everything we've talked about in this video. Maybe go back. I'm not trying to get you guys to panic sell. I'm just trying to increase your yield with a strategy that will help you. There's books in the description for you. But yes, I will post my Discord in the description as well. So if anyone wants to join that, you're more than welcome to. Completely free. Great service there. Great fun there. I guess you guys would learn a lot there as well. But we see Origin Protocol has a lot of volatility compared to Bitcoin, right? This is the top three, right? We have Rune, we have Telcoin, and we have OGN. As of right now, as of today, as of this moment, these three have the most volatility in price or price percentage compared to Bitcoin, which means that they will have large run-ups once they run up, right? So that's a great thing to see. But I see these key three buying levels for OGN, which are going to be around this 0.85, 0.814, and 0.72. These are some great levels, in my opinion, to get some OGN. I'm trying to get around 50 to 40%, but I will be putting a trailing stop loss on this. Why will I be doing that? Just to secure some gains. I'd be probably putting a 10% trailing stop loss off of that bounce, maybe 15% on these bottom levels. But a lot of profits for both three of these coins that I went over. I'm not going to throw too many coins at you guys, even though I'm looking at quite a lot more. But trying to keep it simple. 3 coins, a stream, that's it, right? That's it. Focus on 3 coins. Focus on the graphs. Get you guys familiar with it. But as you guys can see here, look we had this pump up, right? We followed this little trend resistance. What happened when we broke down from this? Boom, we had this run up, right? I should draw these lines for you guys more often. You see how we have this big down run, right? This big spike down, and then we boomed out of it, right? We have just been kind of in this little down thing. We have to boom up or boom down, right? Move up, move down, boom. But yeah, those are the 3 coins I went over, and you guys got to understand that's the time we're in right now. Focusing on the graphs is very, very key for you guys to really, succeed, right? I hope this made a lot more sense to some of you. I'm not trying to talk down. I'm just really trying to help you guys. But this is a very, very important thing for you guys to understand, right? We have these trends, right? We either have an uptrend, right? We have an uptrend right here, uptrend, or we can have a downtrend like right here, right? Right there. That's a downtrend. So we got to make sure to figure out what type of trend we are in. What's the top of the trend? What's the bottom of the trend? When would you buy? When would you sell? Based off of the trend, and you guys can get very successful at this. It's not as complicated as it sounds. There's books in the description that would help you quite a lot as well that I always link. But yes, that's going to be the end of the video. I mean, I don't have much more to go into. We'll be doing another stream, possibly tonight, and making some more videos as well. So I'm getting back into YouTube, guys. Took a little break, a little business break. I was very, very important. I was thinking about you, and we're going to really turn this community into something special. So make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and have a great rest of your day, everyone.